Is there anyone in your life that you'd really like to tell them something, but you don't know how to tell them? Did you ever hear the expression, the truth hurts? I'm Rabbi Abe from RabbiAbe.com. Let's go into this because, it can really help us in so many different areas of life. What does it mean the truth hurts? Why does it hurt? Even if it's true, especially if it's true. Well, let's examine truth. The Hebrew word for truth is emet. Emet. Now, according to the ancient Kabbalist, the word emet, or truth, is actually one of the names of God. That's correct. God, or God of truth. So, why would God want to hurt anybody? Whatever your concept of God is, it's a good thing. Why does God hurt people? Does God hurt people? What could it harm? Listen, did it ever happen that anyone told you something which was true, but it was very difficult for you to take? Maybe you even got upset. Maybe you got angry with that person for opening their mouth, even. What is the meaning that God is a God of truth? Well, let's talk a little bit about this God, shall we? We don't understand what God actually is, but what we do understand is the force of light, which we call the light of the Creator, is compared to a burning fire. A burning fire. I know that, we meditate, we want to have more light in our life. By the way, sometimes we don't understand what we're asking for. Did it ever happen that you asked for more light, more positivity in your life, and maybe it got worse? Maybe you didn't even understand what you were asking for. Well, why would it get worse if you were asking for more, for better? Doesn't God answer our prayers? Well, in fact, He does. He does. But we have to understand the mechanism, If you put your finger in the electricity and you get a shock, but you don't understand how electricity works, who do you complain to? The electric company. That's ridiculous. Learn how electricity works, for God's sake, and then you will learn. Don't put your finger in the socket. I give an analogy, and the analogy goes like this. Let's say you have a red phone. It's a very special phone. And this phone goes directly to God. Okay? But in order for the phone to connect, when you pick it up, you must agree to whatever God tells you to do. Easy or difficult, whatever it is, and it doesn't matter what it is, you need to take on any responsibility. You need to go anywhere, do anything that you are told to do. So, when I ask the question, who wants to talk to God? Everybody goes, yeah, of course. I do. We all want to talk to God. Yeah, right. But if those are the conditions, and you must do exactly what God tells you to do, or not, do you still want to talk to God? And the answer for most of us will be, well, maybe not. Maybe not right now. Let me get ready for that. Or maybe not at all. And you want to know something? The secret is, and because we don't truly want to talk to God, we don't. Or that's not exactly correct, or we talk to God to the degree that we are able to hear God. In other words, the universe will give us all the answers that we ever need. When? The moment we are truly ready to hear it. Now, that goes for all of us the same. It goes the same, it's the same rule applies to all of us with each other in words or actions. And I'll tell you what I mean. The first thing is, I have students that learn, Kabbalah with me, and they become tremendously enlightened. They feel enlightened. They begin to get answers. They say, this is amazing. This is crazy. Maybe even some of you following my videos say, wow. This has maybe really helped me. At least I hope so. And you may take some of this wisdom and now go tell someone else about it. And it might be too much for them. They might say, no, you're crazy. Now, whether that's ever happened to you with relation to this wisdom or to anything that you've ever tried to tell somebody the truth about, and they rejected it. It's rejected. Why is it rejected? Because of the very simple reason that they are not ready. What is the meaning of not ready? According to Kabbalah, it means I do not have a vessel. I am not prepared for that. And if I am not prepared for that, then that light, that truth, that answer is as though it's a fire. It's a burning fire. It hurts me. It burns me. And when you burn people, it's not productive. In fact, it takes them maybe backwards. We shouldn't do it. If we really care, sometimes we want to share an answer with someone, or we want to tell someone what's on our mind, and it's not necessarily even coming from a good place. But even if it is, again, sometimes it's for us, but not really for them. When it's really for the other person, it really needs to come with a lot of compassion. It really needs to come with a lot of understanding, a lot of empathy. And I also have to be willing not to say anything. If you have a disagreement with someone, like a fight or whatever it is, and they tell you something about you, it upsets you. Now, you want to tell them something about them. There are rules. There are spiritual rules about this. Rule number 1, be quiet. Do not answer back. I know this is very, very difficult. It's like trying to hold back the ocean. But I promise you, there are great rewards for handling this properly. So, again, number 1, be quiet. Do not answer. Number 2, wait. A minimum of 3 days. A minimum of 3 days. Okay? Minimum of 3 days. Number 3, ask yourself, do I have to say something now? Do I have to explain myself? Do I have to justify myself? Or can I forget all about it? Okay? Now, it may be 3 days. It may be 3 months. It may be 3 years. In the Bible, Moses waited 40 years to give the Israelites criticism, constructive criticism, let's call it. Okay? 40 years he waited. That's a long time. So I'm not saying you need to wait 40 years, but you do need to wait for the time that you do not have to say it, and it's not coming from your desire for yourself. It's coming from your desire to really help the other individual and perhaps explain that it affected you in a certain way. Now, that's not to say that that wasn't part of what you need to go through. It is. So it's a very touchy place, okay? When we answer or defend or justify our own behavior. If we're in that place, we're certainly never going to get anything out of the deal. Wait till you don't have to say it. Then share what you can constructively, as best as you can. Again, this is all about the truth, right? Because it may be true, but it doesn't mean that it's in place. The truth in the wrong place can harm, can burn. Even the most beautiful thing, the Book of Splendor, the Zohar, which contains, secrets and truths, universal truths for all of humanity. But 2,000 years ago, when the Zohar was revealed by Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, he was in a cave for 12 years being taught by Elijah the prophet and Moses, so says the Zohar. And when he came out of the cave after 12 years, it says something very strange. It says that he saw someone plowing a field, and he couldn't understand it. And his mere gaze was so strong that individual burnt and turned into a heap of bones. I mean, what does that even mean? So they put him back in the cave for another year to calm down, to cool off a little bit. Why? Because he was so full of light, so full of the truth of this world, that plowing a field was almost in his consciousness where he was like, it's ridiculous. You're plowing a field. We should bringing an end to all of the chaos and pain and suffering that's going on in the world. What are you busy with? Nonsense. No. You have to plow a field too, okay? Compassion and mercy means there's a place for the light. There's a vessel for that light. Pure truth is not the way we need to handle things. And again, think about it. It's the way the universe acts with us as well. The universe doesn't tell us the pure truth of what we need to do exactly now, when. No. Sugarcoats it. And, it's almost in a way, God, the universe, lies to us in simple ways. In which way? For our benefit, so we don't burn, so we don't experience pain and suffering. Because, again, the truth, pure truth, would be for us likely pain and suffering. Too difficult, too much, too soon, all at once. No, that's not the way the universe is built. And therefore it says in the Talmud and the Medrashim that the world was created first in judgment, and the Creator saw that the world could not withstand it, and then He created the world in mercy. Again, mercy is a covering. It's a code. It means that this universe is built in a way of mercy. Time. Mercy is also time. Giving someone time. Not expecting immediate change. We expect immediate change from people. Not from ourselves. We get upset with other people sometimes because and we don't understand why they didn't change immediately and do the right things. Yeah, but do we have the same expectation of ourselves? Probably not. We probably are very merciful with ourselves, but we expect a lot of other people. We expect instant pudding. Doesn't work that way, okay? Doesn't work that way. So, in the end of the day, what is it all about? Yes, the Creator is always there. The truth is always there. However, the truth also comes covered in mercy according to what? According to what? According to our ability to receive it. The more we are prepared, the more we're able to receive it. It's like getting bad news about something or someone, but you don't just blurt it out right away to people who are close. Maybe we're close to that person. You give it to them gently, with mercy, with kindness, with affection. Why? So they'll be prepared, so they don't get traumatized, so they don't get hurt. And that's the way we're able to use it. That sharing comes in different forms. I hope this makes sense. So be blessed, everyone. And remember, please leave it a thumbs up if you like it, and subscribe if you're not already. Subscribe and hit the bell for notifications. And I will see you very soon on the next video. All the best.